Shall we play a game?
Fight all you want, you old fool. You're merely delaying the inevitable.
Thank you for a very enjoyable game.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Tonight we have the Average Joes taking on Team Hal 9000. Starting off, CudleZerg faces Dragon on Mancha, followed by CrossToss vs skyFORKnet on Icarus, TerrBear vs PurpleWave on Neo Moonglaive for match 3, and TerrBear vs DaQin as well on Circuit Breakers for the final scheduled match. As always, if we get to the ace match, both teams will select their players by random. Now, on with the games. Starting the first match of the series off on La Mancha, we have for the Average Joes, CudleZerg up here at the top second 2 o'clock position. And for Team Hal 9000, Dragon down here in the bottom 5 o'clock position. Currently, CudleZerg on a bit of a ZVT streak, about 3-0 I do believe. We'll have to see if he continues that streak or will Dragon end it right here. So far, both players just making workers as fast as they can. Do see a SCV popping out there for Dragon. We'll probably be adding a depot here soon. Similarly for CudleZerg, I imagine we'll be adding that Overlord soon. And is adding that Overlord there. Meanwhile, Dragon adding the supply depot. Is sitting out an SCV to scout, possibly, or maybe start a wall at the natural. Nope. Is starting to scout. Is gonna go, unfortunately, in the wrong direction. Meanwhile, CudleZerg still just adding more and more drones. Is sending out a worker, looks like, to the natural for a 12 hatch. Meanwhile, Dragon, barracks about 40% done. Is adding on the gas. Has not stopped producing SCVs. We'll probably be adding another depot here soon. Still no pool for CudleZerg. Should be starting now. We'll have to see if CudleZerg sticks with that tried and true Hydra play that he's been so successful with, or if he maybe switches it up for something new. Dragon is a bit higher ranked bot comparatively to the Terran bots in the league, so might be a little afraid to use it against him. But we'll have to end up seeing what he wants to do. Meanwhile, Dragon saving up that gas. Imagine a factory coming out here pretty soon. Has started some marine production as well. And adding on a factory and a depot. Meanwhile, CudleZerg adding on that third hatchery. Adding on the gas. Pool just finished. Although not making a ton of lings. Only so far one pair of lings and adding drones behind that. Meanwhile, Dragon does have a bunker creating at the natural. Looking to expand soon, I imagine. Factory 80% done. See if he adds the machine shop or goes straight into a vulture after this. Meanwhile, CudleZerg making a creep colony. Does slightly block the scouting SCB with his rallied lings, however missing that on the minimap till it was too late to actually kill it. We'll quickly track it down now, it looks like. With that sunken finish, indeed, shall quickly kill that off. Meanwhile, we have a starport almost finished for Dragon, going for the 111, and a vulture almost done as well. Adding on his third depot, has not expanded yet, however, does have the bunker with a couple marines. And meanwhile, first vulture on the way. Does kill off that scouting ling. The other ling should be able to confirm the starting locations. Is throwing down the evolution chamber though, and a second sunken to block against this vulture play. And meanwhile has completed the Hydralisk Den. Has not started any upgrades for it yet though. Has started Hydra Speed just now. Meanwhile, Dragon taking the natural expansion. Has not added any add-ons to either of his higher tech facilities via the factory or the starport. Instead relying purely on marine, vultures, and now adding the control tower to the starport. Is moving out with a couple marines. Looks like he has his vultures there at the front, and moving out with this wraith now. About to see if Dragon's able to get any damage done, but with hydras on the way, I can't imagine this wraith is able to do a lot of damage. Does kind of shoot the drones there for a little bit. Even shooting this one a couple times, taking it down into the yellow. However, Hydralisk being morphed, as well as another creep colony. And creep colony at this. Imagine those are for spores. However, these hydras quickly push this wraith away, even though they never fired. And Dragon adding on the armory, adding on the machine shop. Has not really done anything else with the starport add-on. Not really researched cloak or gotten a dropship with it yet. Has also ceased the marines, but is adding on an academy, possibly for scan. And Dragon's main force, mainly consisting of marines, vultures, and wraiths right now. Meanwhile, CudleZerg still sticking with that Hydra play. Has started +1. Doesn't really have any other layer or anything else really. Just Hydralisk speed. Working on the range now. Working on Hydra +1 as well. Imagine he will be moving out soon. He does have about 8-9 Hydras now. Meanwhile, is finally working some more marines into his army here. Dragon constantly spending his money, climbing this tech tree and getting some upgrades. However, currently we don't believe this army could really stand up to these hydras, and they're moving out now. In fact, Dragon realizing that as well, deciding to run a lot of these units away. However, hydras with speed do move faster than marines do without stems, so these marines should quickly be picked off. However, able to save most of the mech. Does have his wraiths, does have a couple vultures. However, this bunker basically empty. It's all going to come down to how well Dragon can repair this bunker to this Hydra attack. Unfortunately, only using 3 SCVs right now. And that bunker is quickly demolished, and with this, CudleZerg can pretty much walk right into the natural. Is doing a little stutter stepping. Killing off SCVs. The wraiths are being microed as best they can, but unfortunately do not really do a ton of damage to hydras on the ground. Strictly better as air superiority fighters. And a couple hydras moving up into the production line, picking out these marines right as they're made. Does have a siege tank. Is sieging up. However, out of range, it looks like. Deciding to move it forward a little bit more. Fortunately, Dragon getting run over. Doesn't really have a block for this tank. Hydras can get right on top of it, and only 2 SCVs will quickly kill that off. And with the rest of this, all of his units dying as soon as they pop out, we gotta imagine Dragon is gonna GG very quickly here. Sending a few SCVs and that marine. Oh, and with that, GG. CudleZerg, using his tried and true Hydra play to take out Dragon, starts the Joes off 1-0. Will skyFORKnet be able to even things up against CrossToss? Let's find out. Starting round 2 off, we have skyFORKnet for Team Hal 9000 spawning at roughly the 3 o'clock. and CrossToss for the average Joes spawning here at the 9 o'clock. CrossToss playing a few PvTs this league so far. This will be his second PvP match. Does currently have a 1-0 streak going. However, will skyFORKnet be the one to topple that? Considering he also has a general streak going of roughly 6-7 games now across all matchups. Has a roughly 5-0 streak going in PvT. So far, both players just doing their standard thing. Doesn't seem to be any proxy opportunities or anything like that that anyone's going to exploit. skyFORKnet adding his first pylon. And CrossToss adding his first pylon as well. CrossToss supposedly practiced a lot with PurpleWave to prepare for this match. We'll have to see if that practice also paid off. skyFORKnet has been continuously ahead in the probe game, always finishing his probes just a split second before CrossTosses. We'll have to see if that comes into play too. These bots can be very good at macroing. Both players though, just adding the standard 1 gateway so far. Here's where we'll figure out where the builds diverge, because if skyFORKnet does not take his gas here, he'll probably be adding a second gateway. And in fact, adding that second gateway. And meanwhile, CrossToss adding on the gas and only with 1 gateway, however, blocking his ramp with both probes. Trying to keep skyFORKnet completely out of his base. And skyFORKnet unable to get in, pushed away. And CrossToss getting off the gas steal for skyFORKnet, keeping him on these zealots. However, we imagine with 2 zealots coming out, probably just destroy the gas and reclaim it, but does slow him down just a tiny bit. Considering CrossToss has been so secretive about what he's been doing with his build, we'll have to see what exactly it's going to be. And skyFORKnet going to work clearing out that gas. Does have 2 more zealots on the way. Meanwhile, CrossToss has started his cybernetics core. skyFORKnet clearing out that gas. However, immediately retaken. But with 3 zealots here, we can't imagine this will last very long. In fact, not even completing before being cleared out. And skyFORKnet finally taking his own gas. Meanwhile, chasing this probe, delaying the attack, wants to clear out this probe from his base for some reason instead of just going and attacking with these zealots here. And meanwhile, CrossToss going for the invisible men. It's always going to be the invisible men play. CrossToss, though, playing merry-go-round with these zealots, just going round and round. And skyFORKnet, so far, has not built any forge or robotics. We'll have to see what he wants to do. I mean, this late into the game, what do you do? Just a gateway all in, I imagine? Or is he going to try and do his own tech path? And adding a cybernetics core now. Still chasing the heck out of that probe. And meanwhile, Templar Archives, about 33% done. Has added on a second gateway as well. Blocking off that ramp with 2 probes and a zealot. Which, honestly, skyFORKnet adding the 3rd gateway, in fact. Playing right into CrossToss's build. However, skyFORKnet could probably just win if he would stop chasing this probe around in his main and just go attack CrossToss. I mean, CrossToss has 1 zealot, basically. And skyFORKnet has almost 12 zealots, it looks like. And in fact, sending one across the map to try and scout. Meanwhile, we do have the first set of DTs being made. And is able to juke out of that, however, getting caught on this gateway, it looks like. And skyFORKnet sending the zealots across the map. Or no, actually just pulling back and hanging out at his ramp. Meanwhile, first DTs out on the map. More DTs on the way. And CrossToss going back to blocking off that ramp with his probe and zealots. Meanwhile, skyFORKnet still has a chance. If he basically hold positions this army here on the ramp, he could easily get a forge or something up and possibly a cannon. Would unfortunately trade out his army for that, roughly, depending on how many units he would have to sacrifice, but it would at least still keep him in the game, and with, roughly 4 gateways that he has, should be pretty easy to replenish that army. However, deciding to attack, CrossToss getting immediately into that mineral line and blocking off his ramp with 2 more DTs. skyFORKnet losing all of his workers, losing all of his army soon, probably, once these DTs are done with these workers. And unfortunately deciding to try to hang close to the Nexus, but with no detection, this army can't engage these DTs. And adding on a 5th gateway even, 0 detection, unfortunately, means CrossToss should basically take this game. And in fact, sitting across the Zealot as well, which will catch one of the few remaining probes left. Unfortunately, getting shot and instantly dying after that. However, these DTs making quick work of anything that they can get their hands on. And one DT starting to assassinate what's left of the workers while another DT goes to work on the army. 2 more DTs coming in as well, with several more on the ramp. And we gotta imagine skyFORKnet feeling a bit annoyed right now with all of these DTs in his base and no way to see them. And losing more and more of his army. Oh, and with that, GG! CrossToss using all the dirty Protoss tricks to force skyFORKnet into falling for his DT rush. Will PurpleWave claw their team back into the game, or will TerrBear seal it for the average Joes? Let's find out now. And starting game 3 off on Neo Moon Glaive, we have TerrBear spawning in the red roughly at the 5 o'clock position, and PurpleWave spawning in the blue at the 12 o'clock position. PurpleWave has a big chance to keep his game in the match, or in the series, by winning this match. However, TerrBear on the opposite end has the ability to completely close it out for the average Joes, 3-0. Currently, both players just making workers, doing their average normal thing. PurpleWave adding a pylon at the natural. I'll have to see if he wants to go 1 gate, 2 gate. What does he want to do with this exactly? And TerrBear going for an 8 racks, making the 9th SCV. And PurpleWave unfortunately going to the wrong scouting spawning location. Scouting the wrong spawning location. Adding on the gateway. And TerrBear going barracks, probably supply. Hoping to end this game in 1 quick fell cheese. PurpleWave now trying to scout out the next location. We'll be able to see the barracks basically as it finishes and possibly poke its head in to get a look at the second barracks, figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, TerrBear adding that supply depot now. PurpleWave adding another pylon in the main. And sending a worker out now for something else, it looks like. Nope, sending it back now. Is harassing the SCV here. However, TerrBear rolling up another SCV, second SCV to protect it. PurpleWave is going to keep harassing some of these here. And TerrBear scouting this extra location over here. Knowing exactly where PurpleWave is, but not scouting exactly what he has available to him. Which currently would be 2 gates, one making, one made, with roughly a zealot and another zealot being made. So for a total of 2 zealots. And undecided what exactly it's doing here with the probe. Maybe deciding to build something or not. However, TerrBear going all in on these Marines. Is adding SCVs periodically to his main, and is finally able to scout out PurpleWave's position. Meanwhile, these zealots dancing back and forth. TerrBear getting a nice little sizable Marine army there. PurpleWave adding the shield battery. But TerrBear going for the gas steal, locking PurpleWave onto these zealots. And PurpleWave bringing up his zealots to try to take these out. Meanwhile, TerrBear moving out with some Marines. Is he going to be able to finish this gas before these zealots? Yes, he is able to finish it. It is burning, however, so it should be able to burn down if he wants to pull these zealots down. However, Marines moving up. Zealots not deciding if they want to hang out in the front or chase that SCV. Have decided to chase the SCV, however, will lose this shield battery as the cost of that. And these Marines immediately backing up against this Zealot force. And SCVs pulled, linking up with the Marines, forming a wall, keeping these Zealots at bay for now. And these Zealots, unfortunately, a lot of damage taken, not able to recharge their shield since he did lose that shield battery. Is trying to remake it currently. However, these SCVs keep forming a wall, and the Marines able to kill all of the Zealots coming down. Meanwhile, focusing down the pylon, now deciding to just kind of fire at whatever it looks like, and throwing down a bunker. Killing that Zealot basically immediately as it pops out, and rallying more and more Marines across the map. PurpleWave, unfortunately, does have a core, does have one more gateway up top, however, is going to lose the gateway in his natural and is starting to mine gas. Zealot trying to keep the control of the ramp as best it can. However, these Marines and SCVs making their way up. It has started a second gateway, however, TerrBear starting another bunker down here in range of these gateways. These probes trying to focus fire the SCVs, however, Marines covering the SCVs, keeping them from dying. Is splintering off a section of these Marines to try to focus down this fire this Zealot and take care of whatever probes are left up here. And with this, we imagine TerrBear has got to have this game. PurpleWave losing units left and right, losing workers, losing production facilities, really has no way of countering this Terran aggression. And TerrBear finishing another bunker. Oh, and with that, GG! And with that, TerrBear defeats PurpleWave with a well-executed barracks supply bunker rush. As always, thanks for tuning in, and we hope you'll join us for the next series between the Average Joes and Team Mobile Dolls. Have a good night!